here's Minnie again. She's much more curious. Still a little worried, but I really like this. She's much, much more curious. Getting a little bit of touch here. Just staying around instead of just leaving. She's offering me her neck, so that's where I'm going. I'd like her to keep thinking about drawing to the left, so when she goes backward and kind of thinks about moving to the right, I can try to draw her back in left. I'd like her to get a little more comfortable in this position. She's a little worried there, but not too bad. And I'm going to try to always release her for drawing in left. And the rope here is going to help me keep her with me while I go to halter her. I don't want her to be afraid. She's had a lot of pressure put on her. And when I say a lot of pressure, I mean too much pressure for her. It might have been okay for another horse, but it's too much pressure for her when she was haltered. So she tends to look off to the right and think about escaping that way. So the rope helps me keep her here and helps her think of a different option rather than just escaping. I want her to feel like this rope is pretty friendly. It's not scary. It's not something for her to fight against. And then when I go to put the halter on, then I can use this rope to help her stay with me. And I want to make sure that this rope coming up toward her face doesn't scare her too bad. I don't want it to ruffle her hair backward. I like that she softened her head there a little toward it. There's still the thought of escape. And that's okay, that's going to happen, but I really want her to start to think about bringing her head toward me more often. So if she does tip off to the right or even run off to the right, that's going to happen. She already knows how to do that. She already feels like she has to do that. And whenever that happens, I'll just redraw her to the left. So if I were halter starting her for the first time, I wouldn't want her to know how to do that. I wouldn't want to put pressure on her enough that she felt that she needed to do that. But she already does that. She already knows how to do that. It's already something that happens. So unfortunately, when a horse knows how to do something that's their go-to whenever they get worried, it's better if they never do it in the first place. But we're already here, so I'm just going to keep working on showing her that there's something a little bit different she can try. And then drawing to the left is kind of where I want her to keep her mind thinking. And there's quite a bit of brace on this left side. You'll see she generally tips off to the right. She leaves her hip tipped toward me just in case she needs to run off. This is significantly better, but it's something to work on. And I'm careful when I take this halter off because she gets pretty nervous there too. She's already thinking of going to the right, so I'm going to see if I can help her stay around with me to the left. When she's a little soft, that's when I'm going to take the halter away. So what we consistently release is what the horse learns to do. So even if our touch is soft and kind, it's what's released that the horse is learning. So it's really important that we're releasing for the right things. So she gets a little bothered, just stay with her for a second and release her when she's a little softer to the left. And there she drew right back in, which is so cool. So just kind of want to repeat that a few more times just to help her really understand what it's all about. She tends to think of getting caught as some horrible event that's going to have something bad happening to her. Unfortunately, when a horse is at a rescue or any situation where they need care, they don't understand that the care is to help them. So here's little Minnie who's afraid of people getting caught, getting vaccinated, getting cared for, and those situations are ones that she can't understand. And to her, they all feel predatory. They all feel like pressure. So even receiving care can traumatize a horse if it's not done in a way that the horse is prepared for or can understand. So just coming through a rescue sometimes can be traumatizing just as much as something that was harmful to the horse, because mentally they weren't prepared to deal with it. So even though this little gal didn't get any poor treatment, it didn't work for her and left her very, very scared. So that's why she just needs a little help here, coming through and thinking a little more forward. So I'm just going to give her a little moment to relax here. I just want to see if she can find the feel of that rope. She tends to pull away and pull back. So I want to help her learn that the rope means to come toward it. So that's not something she was ever taught. And if a horse has had more pressure on them than they can handle, they have to find relief somehow, and relief can mean getting away from that person. So she's already in the frame of mind of fighting. And unfortunately was never presented with how to soften, how to engage, how to understand these little pieces that can make her a happy little horse. And she turned away to the right there. That's okay, because